It was a dark and stormy night. The rain pelted their windshield as the young lovers wound their way into the unfamiliar forest. Actually, that setup is bullshit. It wasn't dark and stormy, well, no darker than any other night. In fact, it was a little warmer than it should be for nighttime. No rain either. It doesn't have to be a particularly interesting day for a murder to occur. Nobody realizes that it doesn't take special weather or any sort of preamble. Sometimes there's no reason at all. It's not hard for a person to fall into depravity. We fall into it every day. And I guess that's what happened here. No reason or great experiment to speak of. He had walked up the whole block, trying each door, until he finally found one that was unlocked. Unfortunately for her, she had taken off her shoes before locking the door, completely throwing off her whole back from work routine. 3¼ hours later, he calmly entered her house and crept up behind her. He stood behind her watching while she carried on with her final moments. Her music in the background drowned out the sound of his breath. He enjoyed watching her. It was like a pre-show to his big reveal. As she turned around to cut the vegetables, he bashed her in the right side of the skull with whatever he could immediately grab off the table. It was a small jar of spices for a meal that she would never complete. The jar, of course, shatters, puncturing his hand, leaving shards embedded in her cranium. As he reels back to check his palm, tumbles into the stove. She tries to catch herself, but just ends up burning the circular pattern into her underarm. I was curious as to the thoughts at this point. See, it's never as special as we try and make it seem. This was the most sloppy murder you could do, aside for the lucky fact that the door was unlocked. If only they had locked the door, then took their shoes off. No use worrying about what ifs, right? Anyway, the bludgeoning wasn't over. She pulled the glass from her hands as he writhed around on the kitchen floor. She grabs the scruff of his shirt and launches her bloody fist into his cheekbone. His head snaps back upon impact, fracturing the back of his cranium on the cabinet's handle. That blow to the back of the head caused a notable hemorrhage that made all defense capabilities shut down. From then, it wasn't fun. It's never fun once they stop squirming. Why is it called gray matter? Is it gray when it's all by itself? Can you get it all by itself? By the time I finally get to it, it's usually coagulated. When they finally stop squirming, it's usually brown, not even red. Maybe a brownish red, a burnt auburn, an amber. I don't know. Whatever it isn't gray, and it gets in the way of my research. I don't understand how people think, or why they think for that matter. And none of my research lets me see what people are thinking. Why can't I see? Why can't I see? Why can't I see?
Was it good for him as it was for me?
Why can't I see?
It's good for her as it was for him.
Why can't I see?
It's good for you as it was
Why
for me.
can't I see?
As it was for you?
Why can't I see?
As it was for you.
Why can't I see? 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 Why can't I see?